What's up, guys? Average Kiwi Guy here. How y'all doing? So, I just got back from the Kingsman, the Golden Circle, and it was fucking fantastic, bruv. It was fucking fantastic. It was really good. It really was. It was so good. On par with the first one. Definitely they knew what they did well, and they kept it going, and then added some stuff to it too. So good on them. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Just the entire 2 hours. I think that's the big thing. 2 hours plus. Just watching it. There wasn't really much of a downtime or anything like that. It was solid. It really was. So the way this review will work is that I will do a non-spoiler review at the start. Sort of give you kind of like what I think of it and all the rest of it. Then we'll go into a bit of a spoiler section, okay? So pretty much everything at the start will be stuff we know in trailers, stuff we knew beforehand, and then that's that. And then we'll move on to the spoiler section for those of you who have watched the movie, because I don't want to ruin it for you. Because you guys need to go out and see this. You need to go out and see it. You need to support it because it is damn good. It is damn good. So yeah, so don't worry about spoilers yet. I'll tell you when we're going to the spoilers section, okay? All right. So for me, how was this movie? How did it compare to the first one? How did it, it all sort of pan out? For me, this had everything that the first one had, maybe a little less on the bad guy. Julianne Moore did a good job. She was her character was very wacky and weird and kind of funny and had her quirks and stuff. So she was still good, but maybe not as good as Samuel Jackson. Maybe not quite as good, but it had everything that I wanted out of the first one in this one. Plus they added a little bit of something more because they had the Statesman as well. And that sort of added that American cowboy type, stuff into it, which was really cool. Laser lassos and, the gunplay and stuff. Like, we've seen it all in the trailers, shotguns, all that. Like, it added that, you had the sophistication of the British side, with the Kingsmen and all that. Then you go to the Statesmen, and they're all a bit like, better cowboys, and it's funny. It's got it adds that bit of a twist on it, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. It's over stylized, spies, which was cool. I enjoyed it. I think all of it kind of fit together quite well. And it didn't feel like a sore thumb that the Statesmen were there with the Kingsmen. Like, I felt like they were meant to be, they were created together, which was really, really cool. Taron Egerton, he did a good job. Good job again. Like, he's, solidly really good, funny in places. He has that ability to sort of switch from being this spy to this, punk British teen. He seems to, be able to do a really good job going between the two of them. I liked it. Obviously, we had Colin Firth as well come back, which was cool. And the way they brought his character back in made a lot of sense. It made a lot of sense in the Kingsman universe, where it's over the top technology and all the rest of it. That it made sense that way. Okay, so they made it work, and it helped connect this one to the first one. So I didn't mind that they brought Colin Firth back. Obviously we had Mach Strong. He played a really cool part. Really good scene with him near the end. One of the highlights of the movie for me was one of his scenes. Really solid, really good. Can't really tell you too much because it's a bit of a spoiler. And obviously then we had the additions, which is Channing Tatum. For me, wasn't in the movie too much. But will play a part. So I'll let you guys we'll talk about that in a bit. Obviously we had Pedro Pascal come in, from Game of Thrones, obviously, a bit of the fame there. He's been doing a little, he's been doing the movies lately. I mean, he did Great Wall, with Matt Damon, which is the Great Wall. We won't get into that, but yeah, he was really good. He was really good. His character Whisky, because all the Statesmen are named after alcohol, because the Statesmen, their sort of cover is that they are a whiskey, company. And they have a whole bunch of alcohol and stuff. And all their agents are named after alcohol. So there's like Agent Tequila, Agent Whiskey. Their leader is like Champagne, but everyone calls him Champ. So that was really cool. I liked that they had that sort of the difference between them and the Kingsmen. The Kingsmen all being about sort of like King Arthur's knights. So I like that. So Pedro, really good. Loved him. His character is quite prominent through the majority of it. Probably more than Channing Tatum's, to be honest. He really was. And, his story evolves through it, which I quite liked. Very spy-like. So it was really good. Obviously, Julianne Moore. She was our villain in this one, the big grand, mastermind villain, Poppy. Very quirky, very funny. She has this, like, she loves the sort of the 50s, 60s America stuff. So, like, diners and Grease and all that. So she has this, hidden base with all these, like, movie theaters and stuff like that, which was, it was quite funny. And she has, she has some good stuff. She also has robot dogs, which was kind of cool. She's got this fascination with robots, which played quite a cool part. I liked it. She played, obviously, for me, like, was she on par with Samuel L. Jackson? His sort of big, being a big villain in the first one. I don't think she quite matched up to him, but she was still damn good. Like, she didn't take away from the movie at all. Like, her, she was just very cheerful, and she made people do crazy shit. And, like, the first scene that you get her in, she basically makes a people burger. I'll just leave you with that. A people burger. But yeah. Elton John. Elton John is in this, and he is fantastic. He is fantastic in this movie. He is a highlight through this entire movie. I will leave you with that. He is a highlight. Keep an eye out for him. Jeff Bridges, he plays a reasonable part. He's like the leader of the Statesmen, but he doesn't really get out of the headquarters all that much. He's just champ. He's Champagne. That's where he sort of like gets everything moving. He's the head of the Statesmen. So not too bad. We obviously talked about Colin Firth. He was what he was in the first one. He was that. He's just at the start. He's a little different. So we'll get into that in a bit as well. Halle Berry, basically she is Mach Strong of the Statesmen. He's their Merlin. She's the tech girl. She's the one that basically makes the whole thing run, but wants to be an agent and stuff. And she's solid. She's solid. She's nothing special, but yeah, no, she was pretty good. You also got the princess from the first one. Basically that's Iggsy's girlfriend now. So that's a bit of a connection with the first one. So yeah. So character-wise, really good all the way through. The additions and all that, had no problem with any of them. Statesmen, I mean, you really only met two. Like, there wasn't many others that you met, like, agent-wise, so they didn't take over in any way. Like, I was worried that maybe the Statesmen would take over instead of the Kingsmen, but they didn't. They were a nice complementary to the main guys, and added some really cool scenes. So I was pretty happy with that. Now, story-wise, pretty good. Didn't really have any like low points. Very, typical spy mission, big master plan. Got to try to, figure out what the master plan is. Has a hiccup. Goes for the big final battle. Spies win. It follows that path all the way along. The Kingsmen, they use that stereotypical spy story, but then they throw in some like weird shit as well, and just like hyper, stylized, big, badass scenes, of just, laser lassos and all this stuff. Like, it's very good. It's very good. A solid Kingsman story. I had no issues with the story at all. It was really good. It's just entertaining through the entire thing. Really was. Fight scenes were really good. There was Basically, it starts right off with like sort of a chase scene, sort of fighting in a car as well. So that was really good. Obviously, we've seen when Whisky, which is Pedro's character, when he's fighting with his lasso and stuff. That's really cool, especially when he gets the laser lasso out, like, or the electro lasso. I don't know. It cuts through people. It's like a lightsaber, but a lasso. It is really cool. And then the whole gunplay he does and stuff that scene's really cool. Love that. And then the big fight scenes at the end, and they have like stuff all throughout. It's really quite good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The graphics, they're okay. Like the CGI it's okay. It has its moments where it's like the chase scene at the start is a little like you can tell they spent their money elsewhere, and it's fine. It's fine. It's not anything fantastic, but it's okay. It's okay. They definitely put it into, like robot dogs and, these robots and stuff that Poppy has around. And like mechanical arms and stuff. It's definitely, they put their CGI budget in those places, and it worked fine. It was perfectly good. I had no issues with that. And yeah, I mean, honestly, as a, sort of an overall sort of roundup for this, it is just entertaining through the entire, it was about 2 hours. So it'd be about 2.5 hours, maybe a bit more. So it's a decent length movie. Didn't really have a low point. Just really, really good all the way through. Just, some batshit crazy scenes, but then there's some scenes to tone it down a little bit. For me, it was like they took what was really good in the Kingsmen and they tweaked it a little bit just to balance some stuff out. Like, maybe let's not have this big gory scene here. Like, maybe we put it here. They just balanced it a lot better. They fine-tuned it. And I feel like it made the movie just as good as the first one. And which is good. I mean, sequels always struggle, especially in these sort of, these when you first watch a movie like Kingsman, it takes you by surprise, unless you knew what was, unless you follow it completely. But for a normal person watching the Kingsman and really liked it the first time, it can take you by surprise. You're not going to get that in the second one because you know what's going to happen. So for me to really enjoy the second one just about as much as the first, I think that's a win. That's a win. And I liked it a lot. And yeah, I mean, I feel like as a must-see, guys, I feel like you guys need to go out and see it, especially if you like the first one. If you like the first one, go and watch it. It's a great sort of sequel to that, to the first one. You won't regret it. It's funny. It's got great action scenes. It's got that cool spy stuff with it as well. Gadgets and all that. It's really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Kingsman Golden Circle it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And well worth your time, well worth your money. Go watch it. It's good. Yeah. All right, guys. We're moving into the spoiler section now. So if you are not wanting to be spoiled, please probably turn the video off now. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. This way, anyone who has watched it and kind of wants to, maybe hear some stuff that I saw that maybe they didn't, this is for them. So please go and watch the movie, then come on back and watch the spoiler section. And yeah, okay? So if you don't want to be spoiled, turn the video off now. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. Okay? All right. So spoiler section right now. So, spoiler section. Kingsmen all get blown up, and basically it's Iggy and Merlin, and then later they find out that Harry's alive. So that's pretty cool. The whole Harry thing, so for those who the whole thing with he got killed in the first one, And then the whole like alpha gel is like omega. I can't remember the exact name of it, but the whole gel that, saves the brain and all the rest of it. Then they use nanites to like repair it all and stuff. And then, he comes back and he's, kind of like what he was before he joined the army. So he's like loved butterflies and stuff. It was cool. It was a good way to bring him back. Sort of not retcon what happened in the first one, but, a crazy spy gadget saves him, which is, it's cool. I like that. And, it's a good way for them to get in with the Statesmen. So, solid there. The Statesmen themselves, I thoroughly enjoyed them. I thought they were really good. Tequila, who's Channing Tatum, you didn't really get him all that much, apart from him like spitting on the whiskey barrel, and it was like apparently like a sticky like spit or something. I don't know what the heck that stuff was. Like him basically not being in the movie pretty much at all, other than like dancing and like being infected with the drug virus. It was not too bad, because then it doesn't become like the Channing Tatum show. It doesn't become like his thing, which is cool. I don't mind that. I think like you gotta let him, you let him have his little moment, and then you put him to the side. So that was cool. But that scene at the end with him like all dressed up and like as a Kingsman tells me like maybe he's gonna play a bit more of a role in the next one. Maybe, I don't know if he's gonna be that guy, or maybe they're gonna do a spin-off. I don't know, but I don't know. Would a Kingsman Channing Tatum movie be okay? I feel like you don't want to mess around with this. Like Taron's really good as being like the main guy. I quite like him, so I don't know if I want Channing Tatum to be like the lead guy in the next one. Hopefully that was just like a little bit of a tease, like maybe the Statesman and the Kingsmen are going to work together on something. Hopefully that is. But yeah. Poppy herself, the whole villain thing with the drugs. She's monopolized drugs. She has everything and like puts the virus in it and basically holds the world to ransom so that she can legitimize drug trafficking. Okay. She was just wacky though. She was wacky. She was like, she's a wackadoo, right? She's just super happy. She loves the 50s stuff, the diners and, all that, and kidnapping Elton John and forcing him to like perform for her. By the way, Elton John, like I said, a complete highlight. He is one of the bright spots of the movie. He beat up like 3 thugs, Elton John, and had like these like moments where like slow-mo like as he kicks. It was amazing. And then saves like Harry in the bowling alley because the dogs won't attack him. He was so good. I loved Elton John in this movie. He's swearing and all the rest of it. It was so good. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. He was so good. But also with Poppy, like the whole, making Angel put, his friend into the mincer and all that. That was a hell of like a, introduction thing. That was like insane. Like it was a hell of a like villain introduction. It was cool. Yeah, her lair is funny. I liked it. I like Poppy. I think was she as good as Samuel L. Jackson's like, villain? I don't know. I can't remember, the villain's name at the moment, but was she as good? I think she was there, but not quite. Maybe. I think she has her strengths. Samuel L. Jackson has his. Like they're two different villains, and I think it added to the scene. It added to it, and it was cool. I think all the robot dogs and stuff, that was really cool. I liked the whole like she's like just doesn't like people because people let her down. So she just makes robots, and she gives she gives Charlie a robot arm, and all the rest of it. Like, all that stuff was just it was just cool. It was cool and added to the fight scene, especially the final one, between Iggy and Charlie. Like, that was cool. I liked it a lot. I think it was it adds that crazy future tech to it, which is cool. For me though, like the Statesmen feel like they got like all the toys. They got like all the top. Like, the Kingsmen have like the James Bond stuff, like the submarine cars and the umbrellas and the briefcases and stuff like that. But, the Statesmen, they have like electro whips and freaking gel that like, saves headshots on the agents, and they can bring them back with nanites. Like, I don't think they had this stuff in the Kingsmen. I'd be like, damn, we need to like have like technology sharing. This is what we need. Like, this is some cool shit. Like, they need to like share that stuff. Obviously, they have some sexy scenes. Like, nothing like prominent. Like, it's not prominent. It's sort of like a zoom in, like for the tracking device. It was like, okay. It was okay. Like, it wasn't like anything too bad. Like, I don't think it was all that bad. Like, some people were going on about it as it was like, it didn't show anything. It was like a close up on panties, and then it was just like into the body, and it wasn't like explicit detail. It was just like in the body. That was it. I guess it's like the like assumption of where it is. I don't know. It's like, it's the Kingsman. It's R16 for a reason. Leave it alone. There was some gore in this, like the whole like putting like 2 people end up in a mincer. Like, that was some craziness. Making Angel eat the people burger. That was a little weird. Angel getting ripped apart by the dogs. That was pretty crazy. Getting cut to pieces by the electro whip. All that stuff. But didn't feel like it was over the top, and I didn't feel like it was full of it. So it was in the right spots, and it wasn't over like too bad. So I think it was still good. Now Whisky with the kind of the double agent, but he wasn't really a double agent. He was like an independent agent. He was like, I hate druggies. And if we don't have druggies, then alcohol becomes the big thing. So the Statesman will make more money. So he was sort of like an entrepreneur agent. Like, I'm out for me. So very American. It was a very American thing. Like, we're gonna look out. I'm gonna look out for me, sort of thing. Like, I guess that was what they were going for. And they sort of like kind of wanted to show off that like Harry's got this experience, so he can see where he sees like double agents and stuff. I think it just set up a really cool fight. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed the final fight between Harry, Iggy, and Whisky. I thought that was a really cool fight at the end. Yeah, it was. It's that double cross. Like, it's that spy double cross. There's always one in a spy movie. So of course Kingsman's got to have one too. So it was still good. I thought it was a nice little twist that you kind of saw coming. Like, once like the stuff happens, up at in that shack at the ski, freaking Whisky's out there just wrecking house, like the gun swirling around, and the electro lasso going and stuff. Like, that was a great scene, by the way. Like, once you sort of saw that stuff happening, especially when like Harry's starting to get onto him and stuff, you're like, oh yeah, he's gonna double cross him at some point. It was pretty obvious, but it was a nice little twist. The end of Merlin, essentially. Mach Strong's like big like farewell singing on the landmine and stuff. It was cool. It was like a nice little emotional scene. which I think the movie needed. You know, near that point was like a really strong scene emotionally to sort of get you psyched and ready for the final, like the finale. I thought it was really cool. Him just singing a country song, you know, just belting it out, you know, sort of drawing in these guards, and then boom. Like, it was pretty cool. And like him sort of sacrificing himself for those two, like, you know, Eggsy's father did that for them, so now he's going to do it for him. You know, that was cool. That was cool. It's a bit sad we're not going to have Mach Strong in the next one, probably, so it's a little bit of a shame. But that way they can probably bring back, like, you know, some other characters like Halle Berry and all that. So that's okay. I would still like Mach Strong. I still like Mach Strong. It's a bit sad to see him go. But yeah, no. Overall, this movie was fucking fantastic. Really, really good movie. You just enjoy yourself the entire time. Like, just watching it. You're having fun. It's a real, like, just, you know, going out with your friends, hanging out, watching this movie, laughing. You know, there's really funny moments like Elton John beating up thugs and smiling as he's kicking, and, you know, it's you know, swearing away at Poppy, and, you know, it's really cool. It's really, really good. I can't, you know, just go out and watch it. Go out and watch it. You know, it's nowhere near a perfect movie, but it is a damn good time to watch. You know, it's probably, you know, along the lines of like Baby Driver and all that. You know, that's that sort of movie, like, where it's just a damn good movie to watch. And that was this. It won't win any awards, but it's a damn good movie. Yeah. All right, guys, that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace. Bye.